Hey YouTube, welcome back. So this is my third video now, and we're into week 2 since I got a smoker. So I just wanted to kind of give some backstory and talk about, what this channel is going to be about, why it matters, whether you should watch it. We'll let you decide. But I think, in all fairness, you should have some information as to what we're going to be talking about. So it's kind of a vlog. Video log, I guess. Anyways, what I'm going to be doing is, about a month ago, I decided I want to get serious about learning how to use a horizontal offset smoker. And I want to learn the fire management. I want to, actually over a month ago. It's been something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I lived in Colorado for pretty much all my life, and never really had much access to good barbecue there, and I love barbecue, always have. And I recently moved down here to the Houston area in Texas, where barbecue is like part of the Bible. And I decided that, hey, never gonna have a better opportunity, both accessibility to pit builders, the knowledge base down here. It's just crazy. People are, you see someone down the street with a smoker out in their driveway. It's kind of like an invitation, come on over for a party and some good food. And I just love that. I think it's like got its own culture, and it definitely does, and you see the culture change in different regions of the U.S. depending on what wood is available. It's got a lot of history in this country. It was a way for people to feed large amounts of people on a limited budget. Typically there were low-cost cuts of meat like brisket before it got popularized. Pork butt is still cheap as dirt, and it gives you pounds of delicious pulled pork. So that's kind of what lured me in, and I decided I'm going to do my research. It's something that I'm kind of fanatical about. When I decide I'm going to do something, I really get into it. I look into the details behind it. So that's what's going to happen, man. I'm going to show you guys what I've done, hopefully help others so that you don't have to go to like 100 different locations. You can get a lot of information, hopefully, from this site, but I recommend you, do what I did, which is just look it up, do your research, figure out what you like. For example, I was really into more of the traditional smoker, the horizontal stick burner, kind of smoker. There's a lot of really simple smokers out there now, pellet burners, where you just dump in 5 pounds of pellets, and then you press some buttons and it goes, and that's all you do. But to me, that takes the culture and the fun out of it. So I went traditional. I went old school with a horizontal offset. It's not the most efficient. There's vertical smokers out there now that are way more efficient, but it just produces great meat. And you even see competition smokers now where they kind of went away from the norms of the horizontal offsets, and now they're kind of coming back a little bit. Not everyone, but some of them that are out there winning, are cooking on offset smokers. So they obviously produce really good meat. And sometimes, you can use the downside. Everyone says horizontal offsets are that, it's inefficient, and that, it's going to be hotter towards the firebox and cooler towards the smokestack. Well, you can use that to your advantage too in cooking. Sometimes you want to cook something at a lower temperature. You can put it closer to the smokestack, put chickens, other things that you want to cook at a higher temperature closer to the firebox. And you just got to prepare like that. But anyways, so that's the idea of the channel. I hope you get something out of it. I hope you enjoy it. And this week, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show you my horizontal offset smoker. Some of the modifications that I've done to it, things that I've learned from doing these modifications. So with that, let's go check it out. All right, so I pulled my smoker out here to give you a quick overview of what I'm working with. I went with a Gator pit, which is a pretty reputable builder. They've been on Discovery Channel. on some shows over their building of various smokers. And the owner was a really great guy to work with. So pleasurable buying experience, and really quality pits that they make. It's a 1/4 inch thick steel all the way around in the firebox and the smoke chamber. The smoke chamber is 20-inch diameter by 32 inches, and the firebox is 20-inch diameter by 20 inches. So plenty of room for, you know, a guy that's just trying to cook for some family and a few friends. You know, I think, you know, on this you'd have no issues cooking for 10 to 20 people. And that's something to consider if you're looking to make a living and smoke a ton of meat to sell. You obviously need something that's larger. But if you're only looking to cook for your family, there's really no reason to get anything bigger than this, because, you know, it takes more wood to heat up properly. Takes longer to heat up. It's more difficult to keep that temperature consistent across the smoke chamber. So really, you just want to keep in mind, what are you looking for? Do you like the traditional offsets? Do you want something simple like an electric smoker that you just plug in and dump pellets into? Or do you want kind of more traditional, where you're actually out there working with some fire? And I will say that it's a lot of fun on these traditional offset smokers. So as you can see, it's got the square smokestack. One thing that I kind of wish Gator Pit did is put the smokestack hole a little bit further towards the bottom, or the middle, I mean. Grate level is where you typically want to see that, but everyone has their own opinion on where the smokestack should be and how big. Some people like the square smokestacks. I do, because it has a little bit more surface area than a circle smokestack. One of the things I'll also say is that, you know, the fit and finish here is immaculate. I could get a piece of paper here and show you, but these are really tight seals. I don't know if I can kind of get a close up there, but I mean, there's literally no space there between the lid and the chamber. I mean, it's just really immaculate work that these guys do. It doesn't leak at all. It hardly leaked at all when I first started using it, and once I seasoned it, it really didn't leak. So it's just an excellent smoker. So I'll go to the smoke chamber. Again, this is kind of a stock model, so it really doesn't have the bells and whistles. Even from some of the standard smokers that you'll pick up at a Lowe's or Home Depot, for example, it doesn't have the lid on the firebox, which, you know, can help if you would like to grill some meat directly on the coals. People like to do that. I have a grill, so I'm not too concerned over that. And also, when you have a lid there, it's just yet another area for heat and smoke to escape. So I really don't mind that there's not a lid there. I think it will help with the keep you know, the firebox from burning out as well. And it also deters people from the bad habit of kind of lifting up the lid, putting wood in there, when they ought to be putting the wood in from the side. So that's another thing. The other thing I'll say about Gator Pit is, I mean, look at the size of that door. It's almost the entire diameter and width of this firebox. It's amazing. So I can use a normal size shovel to shovel in coals and things like that. Again, the lid is super tight fit. It's got a really strong, thick grate here. You know, this thing's never going to burn out. It's super, super thick, really good quality. I made myself a charcoal basket to put in there for longer cook times, that I don't want to babysit the fire as much. But for the most part, I just burn wood. That's why I bought it. Another feature that these guys do that not many other pit builders do, you can call it a feature or a downside. People have differing opinions on this, but it's a dampener that you turn to open and close. So yeah, you have to turn it, you know, a number of times to close it. Whoop-de-doo. I actually kind of like it. Again, I try to leave that open or midway, and then I also leave the chimney there open as well. And I basically just try and feed the correct amount of firewood. I think that's really a key thing to think about, is to try and mess with your dampeners as little as possible. and just add the correct amount of wood. That's really key. So some other things that I've done, modifications that I did or didn't have, is inside here. One of the things I did, you know, they sell these diffuser plates or tuning plates, whatever you want to call them. A lot of pit builders sell those for hundreds of dollars, and I'm sorry, it's just not worth it for that much money. I went to a metal scrapyard or a metal supplier and looked at their scrap pile. I needed 18-inch long by roughly 6, and then I found some thinner pieces, which I actually really like. These thinner pieces for the end of the firebox here, because I can kind of tune it a little bit more. But essentially what you want is a smaller gap towards the firebox, and I'll probably close this up, it's a little too big. And then as you kind of get further from the firebox, you want to open that gap up more and more down to the end here. And what these tuning plates do is it does two things. It helps to diffuse the smoke more evenly across the smoke chamber, and it also helps to kind of insulate the smoke chamber so that it radiates heat kind of more evenly. So it heats more evenly across the smoke chamber, and it smokes more evenly across the smoke chamber. Tuning plates are a great modification that you can do yourselves. A smoke builder, a pit builder will probably charge you $150 to $200 for these tuning plates. Again, I went and bought some scrap hot rolled steel for $1 a pound at a local steel supply. It was 20 bucks, man. 1/4-inch steel. This is no joke. This is what you're going to be paying for. Yet it's because I bought it from the scrap supply. They discount it heavily, and I'm able to basically get the same effect for a fraction of the cost that it would have costed for me to have Gator Pit do that. It's up to you. One thing that the pit builders will do is they'll put in some angle, just similar to like what this is sitting on here, but for the tuning plates, so it's easier to slide them back and forth. But the smoke chamber is circular. If you get the right length, you don't really need that. So just some thoughts on that. So that's pretty much what I'm working with. Trying to make this video short, but I tend to ramble on. Another modification that I may do later is put a ball valve there where the grease drain is. But otherwise, that to me, that's not a big deal. Again, most of the modifications, for example, having pull-out shelves that easily slide out, I'm not too worried about that. It's not too hard to pull the meat out by hand or put it on there by hand. Yeah, is it handy? Is it nice to have? Sure. Do you need it? And is it worth hundreds of dollars? No. So that's my smoker. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope to see you back soon. And as always, feel free to comment with any questions that you have. I will be as quick as I can about replying. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like more videos, then feel free to subscribe, and I'll be sure to keep posting these things. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.